Hey there. We're the huge movie fanatics here on YouTube, and we're going to review sort of a sister movie to Last House on the Left, which was our previous review. Check it out. We're going to be doing I Spit on Your Grave, the original.
Yeah, it should be said, unfortunately, that every time you do a horror movie review now, we have to say the original afterwards, after the title.
Remake, so.
I haven't seen the remake. It's not interesting to me. He brought up I Spit on Your Grave on the Last House on the Left review. I thought, well, let's just get it out there because I'm actually a huge fan of it. So as long as he brought up the title, I love how he looks down when he says I'm a huge fan. Oh God, what a sicko! But I Spit on Your Grave for me, which is actually the director's title is Day of the Woman, was actually which is. I just think I Spit on Your Grave, even though I just think it's so much better because it's exactly what it is, an exploitive, just watch this movie, you're going to be disgusted movie title. I just think it's much more classic. Like Day of the Woman, I mean, the movie wouldn't have done anything if that had that title. Yeah. I mean, no one would know anything about it and it would have just been flushed down the toilet. So the title probably just saved that movie. First of all, I just want to say that because I'm a huge summertime fan, summer weather fan, and just not so much of a city person myself, and I'm more of a country person, not in the like yeehaw way, but just getting out there among the birds and the turtles.
You're a nature guy.
I'm kind of a nature, yeah. I'm not a city person, but I'm not a country person, as in like the country bar and yeehaw, So I like being out there among just whatever the country. So for me, a movie like I Spit on Your Grave, just the atmosphere is one of the huge reasons why I like it. Just for simple, especially on Blu-ray, it's again like Last House on the Left for people who are fans of I Spit on Your Grave. I highly recommend the Blu-ray, which is amazing. It looks a lot better than some more new movies on Blu-ray. But I thought that the pacing of the movie and the awesome stylistic choice to not have one note of actual movie score, which very few movies do, and which is very funny because maybe it was not so much a creative choice as it was maybe a financial choice. But either for whatever reason, I thought that that's kind of like you said with Last House on the Left, that the fact that there was no score made the realability, another word I just made, it now exists, better, and there was a little bit where she cuts the thing off that guy and she puts on a record of some opera, and that's kind of the only time in the movie except for like the organ guy playing at church when she goes to say, "I'm gonna kill these guys." Sorry. That there's any kind of music in it, but I think the movie, I'm going to just go, okay, let's see Matt's reaction. I gotta do it. 4 stars again because of its just amazing. Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave are a great companion. They're different studios, so they'll never be in a little box set. But if they could be, they'd be a great, nice little Christmas box set because they're a great couple of rape movies from the 70s that are actually very, very well done. And the thing about I Spit on Your Grave that I really responded to when I first saw it is the pacing. I think was just, I thought the way it was just executed in the pacing and just everything he did as far as the scenes, I just thought was great. And yeah, the rapes do get a little, I think there was 2 or 3, no, there were 3 separate attacks. And yeah, but the point is that it was excessive. That's kind of the point, though. That's the thing about it, is that that's the whole point. It is excessive. And the thing that's interesting about I Spit on Your Grave to me is now you haven't seen it, you don't remember it as much as I do, but so you might not know what I'm talking about. But well, maybe you will because it sticks out a lot. The guys, some of the guys, unrealistic, or maybe in the East Coast, maybe it's realistic. I don't know. Portrayal of the rape, like the one guy is on her is like, and his shoulders are going like that, and he's like, I thought that guy was particularly funny, and I wasn't sure if it was the director's conscious choice to have it go overboard to make it not so real. I don't know. I don't understand some of the rape. Like the guys, I guess what I'm saying is the guys acting for some of the rapes were just like overboard like that. And that's the one thing that kind of sticks out for me, being like, I wonder why that is the way it is. So there. But I think the movie is fantastic. And like I say, the 3 rape scenes, yeah, overboard, but that's the point. And then by the time she comes back to kill him and lure, and the one thing I love, and also I think the acting, but you might not remember as much as I do, I've seen it a lot, the acting from that main guy who owns or operates the gas station, and he's like the overalls on, I just thought was so great. He was a really good actor, and she got the gun on him and take off your clothes, and he's like, she actually takes off his clothes, and she's got him on the ground at gunpoint, and he's like trying to say, you know, oh, what we did to you, any guy would have done, you know. And there's this trashy guy trying to explain his way out of it, and actually believes that he talked her back into it, and she gives him the bath and the famous scene. And I just think I Spit on Your Grave is classic. I'm going to go 4 stars. I just think it's great. So let's hear the other end.
The opposite
direction. Yes, this will be great.
I give it about a half of a single star. Yeah, I know, right? The reason being is that I didn't like the excessiveness of the movie. It was over the top. I mean, it's essentially what's supposed to be a grindhouse movie, but so the over the top thing is understandable. And a lot of them were, but when you're trying to deal with something that's that horrific in a mildly fun or entertaining way, it becomes kind of despicable. And it's sort of like the opposite of Last House on the Left, where that works because it's so despicable and disgusting, but the filmmakers make you and the characters involved all feel disgusting. Like, you're watching this, but the people who are doing this just feel that much worse. Look at them. And that's what made The Last House on the Left work. This one, you didn't really get that sense at all?
It does a little bit have the sense of almost celebrating gang rape.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, it's supposed to be essentially a woman power movie because she comes into her own power, which is why it was called Day of the Woman. Comes into her own power in the last half of the movie, but to do that they had to completely humiliate the character and leave her for dead, essentially. And it just, that I didn't really like or agree with or respect. Whereas, like, you don't really get that with Last House on the Left. Last House on the Left, you get a lot more of the, this is what happens, this is the reality of the situation. These girls get raped, these girls get killed, these are the bad guys. And then the last 30 minutes is almost like a parent's dream of what they could do. Like, and so then...
Yeah, under the best circumstances.
Yeah, this is, it's a revenge piece in that respect, where it's more of like a hypothetical, this is what I want to do kind of thing. And that's why the audience goes with it. Whereas this one, the woman comes into power, but why did she have to be so humiliated to come into power? Repeatedly 3 times. But
you just think it goes overboard?
Yeah, I think there are things about it that kind of work. I do like the atmosphere of the movie in the sense that the settings are kind of nice.
And the pacing is...
It's well shot. Like, I think it's a well-made piece of garbage, to put it that way. But I don't know. Did the director go on to do anything else?
Yeah, the most notable, maybe the only thing he did after was something which is more of a higher budget thing, which is not as controversial, which is Don't Mess With My Sister. And that was, I think, in the mid-'80s or something like that, which I've only seen once, because it wasn't anything like I Spit on Your Grave. It was just like kind of the normal, what everyone else is doing kind of thing that just fades into the oblivion of everything else. But I think I always do that. I think I Spit on Your Grave is his first, which I thought was amazing for being his first, because like I say, and the director edited it too, and the pacing is
he shows technical ability really strong. Like he could, like I have a feeling he probably, had that not been his first movie, could have gone on and
I know.
had a good career. Whereas like people like Sam Raimi, who made really kind of disgusting, horrific first movies that were also insanely technically well done and savvy and whatnot, he was able to come out of it. It took him a while, but he was able to come out of it. Wes Craven again. It took him pretty much 10 years to
get out of the whole
get out of the Last House on the Left thing.
Oh yeah,
because it was like he did a few movies after
Swamp
that.
Thing helped.
But yeah, it wasn't really until Swamp Thing, which was 10 years later, and then Nightmare on Elm Street, which was 12 years after Last House on the Left, that he really salvaged his career.
Yeah.
So when you make a movie like that, you really have to have something powerful to back it up with, and unfortunately he didn't, which is, as I say, unfortunately, he did show technical ability in certain aspects of the filmmaking, like it was well shot, it was well paced, as he mentioned. There were some decent performances, like I think the performances work for the Grindhouse format. They don't work outside of it, but
see, to me, working for that format, as long as it works.
Like if you're going to
see
see a Grindhouse movie, you want to see that, and that's what he gave you. I mean, it's like you go to certain horror like the Saw franchise worked for that fan base. I don't like those movies, but it worked for the fan base because they wanted to see a bunch of people get torn apart, and they did. And that they gave you 12 people in each movie who got torn apart, and the audience was like, "Woo!"
Yeah, I don't know why.
But like, so if you go to the movie, you sort of have a certain expectation of how the performances are going to be, and you got them. And as I say, like the reason those two movies differ, Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave, is because the audience back then probably went to see Last House on the Left for like a typical Grindhouse film, and they got it with certain aspects, but they also didn't because the performances are so realistic, with the exception of the cops, are so realistic and so down to earth and despicable, whereas they're over the top despicable. They're the jokers of like their own film world.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not a fan of the movie. I saw it once and I have
so let me just ask, why aren't you a fan? Just because the excessiveness of
the excessiveness, there's no real entertainment value.
Because the majority of it is rape.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 20 minutes of lead up to rape, and then there's like what
40 minutes. Yeah, of rape.
20 to 40 minutes of rape. And then you get a little 20-minute tag on where she's like, "Oh, I gotta kill them motherfuckers," and then she goes. That's it. that's
yeah,
the
I
movie.
can understand. Well, see, it's much more understandable for someone like me who really loves a country setting to just every frame of that movie is perfect.
If you look beyond the rape, it's all right.
That's what I kind of do actually.
Yeah.
I just there's the second time they attack her. That's this really kind of nice wooded area, and I'm looking at the trees, and I hear this, but I'm looking at the trees. I mean, it's very, very, very pretty, especially on Blu-ray. If you're a fan, check it out. And if you're done,
I'm done.
That is I Spit on Your Grave, 1978. You have to put the year after every horror movie title now, otherwise you get confused with the frickin' remakes.
Not 2010.
Yeah, I have no interest in seeing that. I'm just.
They released a dual disc where with the original and the remake.
Yeah.
I might watch that sometime just because I always give a movie 2 shots. I've only seen Last House once.
We both do that. I Spit on Your Grave.
I Spit on Your Grave once, and so maybe giving it a second view would help. I don't know.
Yep, it'll become your favorite movie, just like Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, apparently it's Billy Bob Thornton's favorite movie. But yeah.
All right, thanks for watching.
Peace.